Joana Ceddia, the YouTuber that went from 1,000 to 1,000,000 subscribers in a month. Joana is known for her talented painting skills, her DIY hair transformations, the purposefully ironic vlog editing style, and her fun personality. In August 2021, she stops posting on her channel of 3 million subscribers, and by October, she deletes it entirely, leaving all of her supporters to wonder what happened to her and if she's okay. In this video, we're gonna be covering the rise of Joana's channel, her experience with eczema and steroid withdrawal leading up to her channel's deletion, why her channel deletion actually does make sense, and what we've heard about her online since. Quick disclaimer, since I don't have access to the main source that is Joana's channel, I had to pull things from archive channels, Reddit, different forums, and interviews, and my brain. So please forgive me if I missed something, and as always, feel free to correct me in the comments. And with all that said, let's get into it. June 2018 is when Joana posts her first video of her painting a photograph that she found online of a woman laying in some water. She would go on to recreate that video and painting for the years following as kind of a celebration for her yearly milestones on YouTube. Something funny is that after her first video, she does get a subscriber to which she dedicates an almost 1 minute long video to. It's just her dancing around to some obnoxious music and then apologizing for it. And she told the Washington Post that after that video, her first subscriber unsubscribed. Some key facts about Joana during her time on YouTube is that the girlie loves avocados and avocado toast. She loves Aritzia. She was living in Canada and she's athletic. Her mom, also known as Mother Goose in her videos, was actually a former professional gymnast. Her dad is currently a professor, but her entire family seems pretty fit as she's had multiple vlogs of them going to the gym together and working out. She was in competitive swimming at some point, and she apparently created her YouTube channel as a distraction from sports after she got an ankle injury around the end of 2017. I'd say her videos had topics centered around art, sports and fitness, school, and occasional cooking or baking. Even though her first video comes out in 2018, it was giving kind of throwback style early YouTube. She wasn't super polished, she let her personality really shine through in her content, and she was doing the intentionally ironic kind of iMovie editing style. She was giving relatable teen, which is why a lot of people actually started comparing her to Emma Chamberlain. She has two videos that really pop off around the end of July 2018. One video is her cutting her hair with craft scissors, and another of her DIYing Emma Chamberlain's clothing line. Her cutting hair video ends up getting over 13 million views and kicks off an online friendship with hairstylist Brad Mondo, with him doing videos reacting to her hair cutting and in the future her hair bleaching, all leading up to them collaborating in person with him giving her a complete makeover. Also later, Joana does shave her head at home and Brad also films a reaction to that. Now, I don't think that Joana cut her hair in a video to go viral on purpose. Like, I'm pretty sure based on her personality that she genuinely wanted to do this and filmed it for fun and was just making videos for fun. But I will say that during this time on YouTube, anything related to botching your hair at home was kind of destined to go viral. I mean, Brad Mondo himself was majorly capitalizing off of this trend and was kind of contributing to keeping it alive because he was constantly doing reaction videos to girls ruining their hair at home, and then he would give his take and advice to people. At least that's how I got introduced to Brad's content. And at some point, girls were ruining their hair at home, entitling their YouTube videos like message to Brad Mondo, or like making comments in their videos that Brad Mondo was gonna rip them to shreds for what they're doing. So there was this kind of perfect storm of these back-to-back viral videos that really kicked off Joana's success. 1 week after the first haircutting with craft scissors video, Joana posts her I DIY'd Emma Chamberlain's new clothing line video, which reportedly got over 7 million views. Again, I'm pretty sure Joana did this just for fun because she genuinely wanted to do this without a huge strategy around it going viral. But if you take into account the context of the YouTube landscape at the time, it's also kind of genius. Emma Chamberlain really had her growth from mid-2017 onto 2018, and I believe she ended 2017 with around 300,000 subscribers, but throughout the course of 2018, she exploded to over 5 million. And there's kind of this phenomenon that not a lot of people talk about where you have a favorite creator and you're there with them from when they're small, and then suddenly they get this explosive growth and they start becoming less relatable, their content style changes a bit, and then people kind of turn on them. And I feel like the quicker that the creator blows up, the more likely that this is to happen. Not that people didn't still love Emma, but there was definitely a narrative going around that she had started to change since she moved to LA and had all this popularity growth. And honestly, some people also just don't love love to love things that are more mainstream. So take this time period where there's a ton of viewers on YouTube watching and engaging with Emma's content, and that audience has also recommended this video with Emma's name in it. They watch the video, they end up staying and subscribing because Joanna's content is also just that good and that fitting. I'm not saying that Joanna did this on purpose or that she copied, and I'm also not saying that they're the same person by any means, but the numbers don't lie. That fall was the start of Joanna's senior year of high school, and she started her first week with 500 subscribers and ended it with over 100,000. It also started her tradition of baking cookies for her subscriber milestones. Within a month, she had reached 1 million subscribers, or as she likes to refer to them, subscribblers. The growth was so insane that people actually accused her of buying subscribers, but the engagement on her videos makes sense. Unless she was buying subscribers to not only subscribe but also watch and comment on every single video, I'm pretty sure the numbers were legit. The math was mathing in this case. In 2019, she kept posting videos, a lot of painting things like the Mona Lisa and following a Bob Ross painting tutorial blindfolded, and also some vlogs and a video turning herself into Shrek. These are the types of videos that the internet needs, truly. Like, this is a lost art. She got some shout outs and some mentions from other big YouTube channels like the React channel, where they had a Teens React episode dedicated to her. They mentioned things like her iconic tiny mic, the John Cena jokes because her name sounds like John Cena, Joana Ceddia, her chaotic energy but in a good way, and her wholesome vibes with her parents. She definitely has a huge wholesome vibe with her parents, like they are working out together like I mentioned earlier, and in a lot of her videos someone is recording her, and I'm pretty sure it's her mom. She was also in Anthony Padilla's video. Shout out to our video on Kalel where we talked about where Kalel went and her journey on YouTube, including her relationship with Anthony. So in the time period that Anthony left Smosh, he actually started posting content on his own channel where he does like a spends a day with different types of people series. Joanna was on the I spent a day with legendary modern YouTubers. They highlight how quick her channel blew up and the millions and millions of views that she would get per video. She does mention in the interview how she does feel pressure to always be funny now, especially when she meets people in person and runs into fans in public, and it kind of scares her. She's tried to set boundaries for herself, like not ever showing her relationships online if she were to get into one. And she says that the day she starts looking at YouTube as a liability and not something that she's having fun doing would be the day that she stops, which honestly could be foreshadowing. And to prevent burnout, she tries to make time for other things in her life and have a lot of things going on. In 2019, she also got nominated for a Shorty Award for the Best YouTube Comedian and a Streamy Award for Breakout Creator. So remember, October 2018 is when she hit 1 million subscribers in like a month, and then in March 2019 she hits 2 million subscribers, and then by October 2019 she hit 3 million subscribers. And she made sure to post another cookie video to celebrate. Fall 2019 is when she starts going to university, studying physics and astronomy. She does some vlogs of this, talking about being excited for it, getting addicted to cheese, providing reenactments of her class experiences. But it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. She has also talked about the difficulty transitioning into university with the workload, while she was also kind of addicted to the internet and her phone and not getting the best sleep. She does get the hang of it though, and we see her get into more of a routine. She also continued with her art content through it all, making murals on her walls, which, like, can I just say, it's kind of heartwarming to see her be able to paint murals on the walls of her home. Like, her parents seem pretty cool for this and very supportive of her hobbies. In 2020, she starts the year off celebrating her mom's birthday with an avocado cake, and right around when the pandemic was hitting and shutting everything down in March is when she shaves her head like we mentioned earlier, and Brad Bondo eventually reacts. Other quarantine activities for her involve hatching quails in her home, which, like, y'all, this is why people love Joanna, because who else do you know is casually hatching quails in their home? I mean, I guess it totally depends on where you're living of how normal of an occurrence this is for you, but for me, it's not something I see every day. I feel like Joanna's content was so addicting because of her very likable personality, her comedic tone with her videos, and the content itself also being interesting. Like, here she is hatching quails, or she's painting things and she's actually really skilled at it, so it's really cool to see the final product. She was like your cool and funny friend. She does provide some quail updates as the year goes on, including building them a larger enclosure. The year following, she would end up giving the quails away to a family friend because of her eczema issues, which we'll also be getting into. But just so you know, right now, the quails were given to a good home, and as far as we know, are no longer with Joanna. We do get more quarantine uploads of Joanna painting with nail polish, painting the universe on her ceiling, and more, but the videos do start slowing down as we enter the latter half of the year. In fact, she does have a 2-month pause in posting posting around September and October of 2020, and she comes back in November with a video titled I'm Back from the Dead. In the video, she explains that she had set out to paint the birth of Venus on her wall, which she did start, but then she soon hit a wall with it and stopped. She had a mental breakdown and it was stressful, so she didn't film. She had reached a point where she was like, screw it, I'm done making YouTube videos, the stress isn't worth it, I have so much going on. So she just continued quarantining, and then eventually one day she watched Coraline and noticed in the movie there's a reference to the Birth of Venus painting, and then she took it as a sign to paint again. She thanks everyone for sticking around, and she says that she can't do the weekly uploads anymore. A few months later, we're in early 2021, she posts a video of her painting an insane family portrait. Like, the details on this are crazy. Like, I would never say people were watching Joana's videos for her art skills. Like, they definitely watched for her and her personality, but her art skills are definitely there. Like, she's not just playing around. In the video, she does mention how her skin is ridiculously sensitive and she's allergic to everything, and she ends the video saying that her topical steroid withdrawal is burning so much, but that it's a story for another time. And that other time would be in her next video in February. Some context before we get into that video is that Joana has always shared her struggle with eczema in her videos, but typically it would just be in small snippets or a joke about it here and there. Joana has never really been super serious in any of her videos. She typically still keeps a lighthearted and comedic personality, even when discussing real things that she's going through, which I feel like a lot of YouTubers do, especially ones that have kind of comedic channels. Kind of reminds me of our Ryan Higa video, because he made so many videos talking about what he was like going through and the burnout, but it would be like a skit or there'd be like comedy and jokes in it, so it's hard to take it super seriously. And I'm not trying to make a point that like, oh, these creators needed to be more serious in their videos or anything. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. I just think that it's interesting because even though people are being vulnerable online, there's always going to be a wall up or something preventing them from fully being vulnerable. So her February video is titled I've been lying to you all for the past 6 months, LOL, where she opens up about why she's really been inconsistent with her posts. She's been using topical steroid cream for the past 15 years to keep her skin clear, and during that whole time, for the most part, things were good. It had worked for her and was successful. However, around mid-2018 is when she started her YouTube channel and her eczema started to get worse. It was a lot more itchy and red and started spreading to her scalp, causing hair loss. She stuck it out for the next 2 years until around August 2020, when the topical steroid creams just completely stopped working. She went to the doctor and her doctor pretty much told her to just keep putting more on and dismissed her symptoms. She did a bit of self-diagnosing, which like we never promote self-diagnosing to other people, but we all do it sometimes, and she's real for admitting that. The main hypothesis is that she had been on the cream for so long, her body became addicted to the hormones and started to not produce its own. She eventually became resistant to the cream and her body started going through withdrawal since it was no longer getting the hormones from the cream and wasn't used to producing it on its own. It then created this eczema-like dermatitis, which was a lot of skin flaking, itchiness, swelling, and just inflammation. She decided to stop using the creams in October 2020 and got the worst flare-up of her life in November. It was so bad that she had to drop out of university because she was spending all of her time just itching and she couldn't focus on anything. She says that since then, she's been cutting things out of her diet to try and help, and this is just what she's been dealing with. Throughout the rest of 2021, she does upload occasionally where she talks about what she's doing to try and help her condition, the small successes that she's found with experimenting with her diet, her dance mom's fascination, and also just more vlog style content. In July, she does post a positive update that her skin is doing great at the moment. She shares some things in her daily routine that has had to change to help improve her skin that are not the most fun, but overall she's staying positive and focused. And she says that her life will probably never go back to the way it was before, and that she's probably not going to go back to university anytime soon either. During this time, she also disabled her subscriber count on YouTube and explained that it's because she didn't like the stress of seeing the number go up and down. She also apologizes about not being consistent with her uploading while she's going through all of this, but she thinks we're out of the woods now and she can be more consistent again, which would confuse viewers because the next month, August, would be the last month of her posting ever again. The last we heard of her in her vlogs leading up to her disappearance was her getting into working out again, making strides in her skin improvement, but noting that the healing is not linear, and she was heavily considering moving out of her parents' home, getting her driver's license, and shared dreams of getting a Cybertruck. So after August, no more posts, September, no update, and then in October, she deletes her channel off of YouTube. At the time, she had over 3 million subscribers and over 316 million total video video views, a channel that was only alive for about 3 years but had that insane amount of impact. On October 30th, 2021, on the Joana Ceddia subreddit, so just right after her channel got deleted, her friend Jade posts to say that Joana is alive and okay. Someone left a comment sharing their experience with topical steroid withdrawal on this post, to which Jade responded asking if they can DM them to learn how to properly support Joana, kind of hinting that the steroid withdrawal does have to do with the disappearance. Even if it had seemed to be getting better in the months leading up to it, I mean, Joana said it herself that the road to recovery is not linear, so people tend to believe that this Jade user is truly Joana's friend, and I mean, you can't confirm for sure, but I did go through her post history when researching for this video, and she had posted a photo of her and Joana together, so it seems pretty legit to me that this is someone who knows Joana IRL. So occasionally Jade would provide small updates on Joana since then, but nothing super substantial, I think intentionally. I couldn't find a post or comment from Jade that confirms that Joana went back to university. I've only seen other people saying this and rumors that she went to NYU, but I don't know if that's true. Like, that kind of just all sounds like speculation. Around November 2022, Jade had commented saying that Joana got into ice skating and that her skin is better now. In 2023, Jade made a joke about keeping Joana in her basement, and about 3 months ago, she joked again about allowing Joana to occasionally come outside to touch grass. So it does seem like Joana is doing well, and I'm pretty sure if Jade is a good friend to her, that Joana is okay with her letting the internet know that she's doing fine and is just no longer wanting to share details of what she's doing in her life now with the public, which is totally respectable and understandable. I get why people want answers and are curious. It's fair to feel that way, but it's also fair to never get the answers if Joana doesn't want to give them in detail. This is a super interesting conversation around the pressures of being an it girl online and what it really feels like to have so many eyes on you while you're going through something really hard. I'm not saying that the public attention around Joana's eczema is what caused her to delete her channel and stop posting online, but I can't imagine that it helped at all. It's definitely hard to share personal struggles online and just have them permanently there for everyone to see. I think another layer of this is that Joana never wanted to become an influencer or even have YouTuber be her main career and income. She was still insistent that she would go to university and get a degree, and she wasn't taking any sponsorships on her channel, even though she was getting millions of views and totally could have capitalized off of it more. I feel like with her eczema struggles going on, it must have been way harder for her to post, and then this YouTube thing may have started to feel more like an obligation rather than something for fun like it all started. And I mean, who can blame her for finding it harder to stay comedic and entertaining while she's going through something that is very not funny? And she literally said on Anthony's show that once she stopped having fun, she would stop. She didn't want to be a serious full-time YouTuber anyways, so it kind of just seemed like the time to stop. That's just my personal take. I'm curious what you guys think in the comments. Obviously, I hope that whatever Joana is doing now, she's in a good place in her life. And with all of that, we reached the end of the video. Please like and subscribe to support the channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!